Got mail.
Hello, welcome to our first podcast. My name is Kevin Van Kannel. I'm the owner of UTEC. We're a technology company out of Ann Arbor, and today we are starting our first podcast, and we hope it's a journey that we take our customers and friends along, and we hope to help educate you a little bit about some technology, some products we can help you with, and then also just be a connector for our community to bring guests together and share best practices, ideas to make us all better. With that being said, we'd like to introduce the name of our podcast, and the Creative Brain Trust here came up with, and I don't know if this is a shot at me or not, but Less Kevin, More Tech at UTEC. And with that, I'd like to introduce my partner in crime, Les Harris.
Yes, thanks, Kevin. I am the part of the Less Kevin, More Tech podcast for UTEC here. So just to echo Kevin's words, we want to use this as a platform for our clients, for the community, and to basically broadcast all the good that we're doing and the direction that we're heading.
Let's have some fun with this now.
Right on. Let's go.
So, hey, Les, why don't you tell, we're doing our first one here, so let's just introduce you a little bit, give us some background and maybe where you came from and what you've done and where we're going to go.
Yeah, so my background is rooted in the office equipment space. And when I started my professional career, I was marketing fax machines up and down the street. And I was probably too dumb to know how bad of a job it was. It was a type of a job where we were selling $1,799 a piece products with a $30,000 a month quota. So it was, a lot of the conventional door knocking and just pure hustle. And that's what it was about. So as the office equipment industry changed, and we got into more connected devices that were into the network, printing and scanning, and if you can believe it, going into color, those were the things that I evolved with the organization. And I evolved with the technology. I personally got involved with the graphics reproduction market, got involved with computer networks, and got involved with document management. And, I'm fortunate enough to, come here and work with UTEC. And the plan here is to continue to evolve with the business landscape, help our clients become, better clients and utilize the technology to their benefit. I think that kind of sums it up.
Yeah. Well, you said you were fortunate enough to come to UTEC. I'm glad you feel that way, and I know we certainly feel that way about you. But we were fortunate to have you, I think. Yeah. It's a two-way street, and we'd like to thank our mutual friend and mentor. We'll give him a shout-out down there, Bill Batro, who's probably not selling MFPs anymore. He's probably hanging out on Intercoastal and jet skiing down there in Tampa right now.
Enjoying life
like he should. But so we competed against each other as competitors way back, and then we had a client-vendor relationship when I was doing some equipment leasing. I started peddling copiers in downtown Detroit, down there at the corner of Howard and Trumbull, and then we got bought by a big conglomerate, and we became frustrated at the fact that we lost the ability to make independent decisions, and some dude in Tampa was making a decision on what was best for the business around the country, and we lost that ability to have that uniqueness and individual touch on things. Went in the equipment leasing industry, thought I'd be making a move up from selling copiers, and I think actually took a step back down, it seemed like, right? But we did that for a long time. I got to see that side of the business, met some great people, and got to work with many different business owners who I would like to think that I've taken the things that they have done well and taken our blank canvas and tried to make it work for us here at UTEC.
That's awesome. I'm curious about one thing. Well, I'm curious about a lot of things, but one thing in particular. You were very successful, right, in the leasing world. You were. And but something somewhere, entrepreneurial bug or something made you leave a secure corporate environment to launch into an entrepreneurial venture.
Yeah, you're right. I think I sort of always had that because I tried to attack my sales as an entrepreneur and think about how would I, if this was my business, how would I want to run? And I ran my territory, right? And you did it that way. And then I was blessed. I went to work for a leasing company, DLL, and same thing. You were an independent business owner, it felt like, under a big structure, but you had all these corporate guidelines you had to adhere to, right? So you really couldn't make your own decisions, but you had some flexibility how you mapped out your business. And I looked at a lot of these guys and became friends with a lot of these owners and managers and such, and saw how their business was operating. I thought, I always kind of wanted to do it. My dad had his own business. He had a little bakery box, pizza box business down in Columbus, Ohio. And I just admired that and thought, it'd be fun to do something. And, your kids, right? You get to a certain age and you're traveling. And it was neat to take that first job where you got to travel and you got to go to different places, stay at hotels, eat at dinners, and all that fun stuff. But after a while, you start thinking, what? I really don't need to be there for the sporting events. I need to be there to go to the school plays, things like that. And I also had to keep an eye on my wife, make sure that things are going well back home. So with that, we had an opportunity. And there's a small guy in Ann Arbor that, he was very successful and made his money and made his mark in what he wanted to do. But really the business was lapping him, and he didn't even know it. He was going out of business, but he didn't even know he's going out of business. And I think you've heard us jokingly refer to that we were all selling typewriters and fax machines. I still remember after buying the business and trying to redo the look of the showroom, he was up in arms because he thought I was missing the boat by not putting a typewriter out there and selling that typewriter for $500, and I could make a couple $100 on a typewriter. And I always said, yeah, but I'd sell one.
Right,
I'd like to sell multiples, right? And you saw it when you started out with the faxes, right? It was very lucrative in the beginning, but technology changed, right? And if the company doesn't change, then you're behind on that. So it's fun, right? Because we're always changing, we're always evolving, and have to reinvent ourselves every day or every other day, at least it feels like.
Yeah, there's a little bit of evolution, and along with it, a little bit of revolution, right?
Yeah.
And you got to kind of marry those two because you have to peer around the corner. You have to pick your next steps before they actually occur to stay relevant. And, as I look through UTEC and I look at the diversified client base, the products and services that we're selling in, it's a great story, right? And even starting with the typewriter, to like what we're doing right now, right? So we're presenting information, and we're going to engage our clients in this, and we're going to help them grow, and we're all going to grow together. And, this type of information exchange is probably as valuable or the same as the typewriter was in the 1970s.
Sure, just in a different form, right?
Different form.
And that's what, it was nice because we got to prove ourselves to our customer base that we had a good reputation, we had a good service, we had people that cared, we billed right, we took care of problems as they arose. And I think that gave us a nice base to launch off of, having a customer base like that.
Yeah.
And then at this point when we came in, it was now going to finding the better customers, I'll say, in the sense that customers that wanted to stay involved with the technology. And I hate to single anybody out, and no customer is better than another, but we wanted to find like-minded customers, maybe is a better word for it. We wanted to find customers that wanted to grow, see technology as an investment, not an expense, and that's what we're doing by showing them all the different offerings that we have.
So one other thing I'm curious about. At the beginning of the intro, I think you may have used the word community, multiple times. And it's something that I've noticed within UTEC is there's a lot of talk about community. And you are very active with the Brighton Chamber here, Ann Arbor Chamber, Howell, the Alliance of Heartland. So can you, I don't know, help our audience or help myself understand where your commitment comes from, why it's important to you, and how it works with UTEC?
Well, I see as a business owner, I see it's our role and obligation, right, to be involved in the community. I mean, they're the ones that help pay the bills for us, and we need to give back. And I think we need to be a good steward, right, because it's our community. We work, live, play, eat there. So let's make it something that we're proud of. And the nice thing is, right, we get to play off each other's skill sets, mindsets in that way. And again, you can map the technology and the vision and help bring all those into an office and sell something to the customer. And that allows me to have some time to go out and look for those strategic relationships, right? And that's what we hope to show people is that not only are we working with them and doing business in their community, but we're also giving back in that community. We're active in that community. We're helping advance goals, agendas, ideas, and making it a better place for all of us there. And we've been very active, as you said, in the chambers in Ann Arbor and Brighton and the alliance with Heartland and Howe. But we're also very active in a nonprofit community, right? There's a lot of folks that we work with, Ellie's Place, Safe House, Domestic Violence Project, La Casa, different organizations like that. And then, education. We're big believers in that. Our wives both work in education, right?
Yep.
And we see that as a must if we're going to have a good community, good workers, good employees. We got to have a strong foundation in education, so we'd love to give back and work with those entities.
Pretty good. So along that, that route, right? That all kind of evolves around the customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I hear you in the office speak to the customer experience. And so where does that foundation? Because it's very easy or it's not easy. But it's a trap that a company can get into, saying, "Oh, we're this big, we're that big, we do this," and kind of get caught up in your own growth, your own company, and brag on that when it's really the customer experience.
You're right, and I think that's something that we really try to focus on at UTEC, right, is our customer experience. And I always try to view things as you and I as a consumer. How would I want to be as a consumer? Why do I like going to that store versus that store? Are they easy to do business with? Do they remove obstacles? Do they treat you like a valued customer? And I think that's what we deliver, and that's where we differentiate ourselves from other people. It's that customer experience. Are we easy to do business with? Are we fun to do business with? Do they want to do business with us? Do we give them solutions and ideas to make their business better? And I think that's important, and that's what you get measured on. I know there's a lot of companies out there that are they got to move serial numbers because they're trying to appease shareholders. They're looking for a top line revenue number, right? We've all seen it where they want to pound their chest and X amount of dollars. And we don't ever want to lose sight of that, right? We want growth. We need to be profitable. We need to grow, and you need to have positive revenue, right, and positive cash flow and income to do the things that we want to do to support the community. But we never should take a shortcut to get there. And I think that people too often say they're easy to do business with, they want a good customer experience, but are you really giving them a good customer experience? Is there mistakes made? Hey, we deal with humans, right? Yeah. That's all we have working for us is humans. And on the other end, our customers are humans. So you got two different entities over there with humans involved, and things happen. And I think that where we like to do is we're not perfect, man. You've been there, 9 months now? You've seen it. We make mistakes, just like the other guys make mistakes. But we try to eliminate them. We try to learn from them. We try to grow from them. But I think the thing that we do want to recognize and own is that if we do make a mistake, let's own it. Let's see how we get it addressed. Let's resolve it. Let's fix it. And let's work with the customer to fix it in a way that they feel good about it. Let's make them excited. And that's what I think the customers want at the end of the day. They know we're going to make mistakes. They know there's going to be a billing error. They know the technician may be a little bit slower getting there sometime than what they want, or they don't have that part, and you got to get that right part. But and then we got mechanical items, right? We got mechanical things that are working. And sometimes they have their own minds and they just want to shut down, and it's never at the right time, right? But how do we get out there? Are we out there timely? And I think that's the thing we do. We own it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Let's address it. Let's own it, move on, and go from there.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's easy to kind of focus in on the mistake or what have you. But I'll tell you, we have. One of the things I find so unique is anytime anybody interacts with our company in a service mode, they're immediately emailed, right? And it asks to describe the experience. And then the email comes back and management is copied on it. And whenever there's a discussion, something that needs to be corrected, we're on it. Just yesterday, for one of our techs, for him personally, we cracked the 500 number, right? Mm-hmm. And his average score was 4.9. I mean, that's something to be celebrated. It speaks to the client experience,
right?
Yeah, and it shows that we're doing the right things.
The customers just want to know at the end of the day you care.
Yeah,
You care about their problems, and you care to get them resolved, and you care to do it with a smile on your face. And I think we've got good people. Do we have bad days? Yeah, there's no getting around that. But we try to limit those bad days, and if we have a bad day, we work hard the next day to make it up to them and get better at it. And it's fun. That's what we get to do. We get to coach, counsel, work with our employees, always reminding them of this, helping them get better and helping them reach their goals. And again, if your employees are happy, usually the customers see that and it comes through in the service we deliver.
Yeah, you can grow their career.
Right.
So employees growing their career, customer experience, history of the organization built around community and client satisfaction. What do you see coming down the pike for UTEC?
Nothing but good things, right?
Yeah.
And we say it laughingly because who knows what's coming, right? We've had, since we started this business in 2008, when I acquired it and bought it, we've had a recession, right? One that we never thought we'd see before or hopefully never see again. We've had a housing crisis. We've had this COVID thing, and it's been fun, right? We're driving for the first time without much training on this, and I think that technology's changing. It's going to come even at a faster pace with us. I think COVID's made all of our businesses look and say, hey, how can we do this differently? How are we prepared for the next thing that comes down? So we got to make sure that we have those solutions in place for our customers and that our employees understand how to use that technology and can go out and communicate and share and show how to use that technology. So, a lot of crazy things coming.
Yeah. So what I like best about it, Kevin, is we're listening to our clients and we're hearing what they're asking. I had a couple of conversations this morning.
Well, right now, aren't we talking to them?
Well, we are. But we're hearing what they're asking for. And, we had a couple of conversations this morning with clients, and we're having conversations that, a year or two ago would not have been happening. But it's their needs. We're addressing them and helping secure their business, from something so cyber, right?
Right.
Wouldn't have been having that conversation a couple years ago.
No, and that's a big thing, right? And that's part of the partnership we bring with our customers. We're trying to educate them like you guys did yesterday with the cybersecurity panel and how important that is that whether they do business with us or somebody else, they've got to have that in place. They've got to have the right cybersecurity tools. They got to have the right insurance provider. They've got to have the right MSP or IT director leading them and looking at these things. And again, it was just a big educational thing. I don't think did we sell anything yesterday? No, but did we educate our customer base and prospects and make them smarter, make them better? Yeah. So down the road, we'll sell them something, right?
Well, we reinforced our relationship, that's for sure.
Sure.
And that's a big victory.
So, hey, if anybody was crazy enough to stumble across this podcast and wondered what the hell happened to them, we're here. It's Les Kevin, right?
Yep, Les Kevin.
And more tech.
More tech.
At UTEC. So, hey, we'd love to have your feedback, your input. We're doing this for the first time. We're trying to be good at it. We want to be good at it. And we'd like to have it something that's informative for you. So if you'd love to be on a podcast, come talk with us. If you got any ideas, hit up Les or Kevin, and we'll be happy to go from there.
Yep, our website is
www.
UTEC
we have to say that
IT?
anymore? We don't. Yeah, right. We're a technology company. Just utechit.com, right?
Yep, utechit.com. So Kevin, podcasts seem really simple when you're watching them or listening to them, but there's a lot that happens that goes on behind the scenes. Help us out here.
Oh, yeah. You can't do a good podcast unless you're at the Speakeasy down here in Brighton. And if you see the setup, and if you haven't been here, you got to get in here. You got to see their office. You got to see the facility. But more important, it's what we've talked about, in our podcast here when we talk at the office. It's all about people, right? And if you didn't have Rob and Amanda down here leading us, but the most important person here is Bazooka, who's behind the glass there. And you want to get down here just to see Bazooka. Not only is he a good-looking dude, athletic, smart, and witty, but he seems to know how to make this equipment work, doesn't he?
Right,
It's
exactly.
amazing how that works. So make sure you get down to Speakeasy here in Brighton. They'll help you with their podcast, and they'll make your podcast much better than ours.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Les, you and
Yes.
I know they've seen it here, but all good podcasting starts with a nice glass of bourbon. And at UTEC, we don't have our official bourbon sponsors. So if somebody has a bourbon sponsor connection out there, they want to sponsor a bourbon here. If they want to send us a nice bottle of bourbon to enjoy during this podcast, we'll be happy to give them a shout out.
You got it. Speakeasy, downtown Brighton.
UTEC IT.